Hi everybody, it's yo boy, Lizard Boy G, the ringleader of the Kaiju Force, and today we're like ranking every one of the Godzilla movies and shows. I think whatever's on this tier list, it's getting on the tier list. Okay, so we're gonna keep it short and sweet because there's like three other people. So let's get started. So starting off with the one that started it all, Gojira. As you can see, there's this little star place. You can't see my cursor, but you see a little star place at the top. That is for the movie itself because it started it all. It's the first one. It's literally unrankable. But even if it wasn't, it probably would have been placed at S. So yeah. Anyway, so let's continue. Let's keep it short and sweet. Next we have Godzilla Raids Again. I actually kind of like this movie. I think it's a little overhated sometimes, but again, I don't think it's that good. I think it's around a B tier, maybe, probably C tier actually. Next we have Godzilla, King Kong vs. Godzilla. I think this movie is better than Raids Again. I thought it was a pretty cool movie. Now we have Godzilla vs. Mothra. Godzilla vs. Mothra was one of the first Godzilla movies I've ever seen, and I think it's one of the first Showa era ones. And I really enjoy this movie. I really like it. Next we have this one. This is the one with Mothra and Rodan. Yeah, this one, it's okay. I don't think it's better than King Kong vs. Godzilla, but it's still pretty good. But I like this one a little bit more. I forgot the exact name. I think it's either Invasion. I think it's Invasion, actually. I think it's better. I like the dancing part. It's got a lot of funny scenes, and yeah. Next we have Ebra Horror of the Deep. Ebra Horror of the Deep is a really solid movie. Not solid enough, though, to be put any higher. Next, we've got... Is that All Monsters Attack? No, wait, no. That's Son of Godzilla. I love Son of Godzilla. Son of Godzilla is easily in my top 10 Godzilla movies of all time. Okay, next we have Destroy All Monsters. Destroy All Monsters used to be so underrated, but I'm happy it's getting the love it does now. But again, people are now starting to glaze the movie. But again, I think it's probably one of the most solid movies from the Showa era. I think it's one of the more solid movies, like, in general. But yeah, next we have... Oh, it's All Monsters Attack. Now we have Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Godzilla vs. Hedorah is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. It's a solid movie. It's alright. Godzilla vs. Gigan is pretty boring, in my opinion. But it's still a fun watch for the fight scenes. We have one of the best movies of the Showa era, Godzilla vs. Megalon. It goes in A tier because it's that good. Then we have Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. In my opinion, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is better than Terror, and Terror I put around here. Now we have probably my most controversial takes, because I know people have like hate and love relationship with the Heisei era. One of them being the first one of the era, 84. I really like 84. I think it's a pretty solid entry. And for it being part of the category where Godzilla's the villain, he's the only monster, it does a pretty good job at being a like legacy sequel. So yeah. Then we have Godzilla vs. Biollante, which is way better than 84, but personally not better than vs. Mechagodzilla. Now we have Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. I think this movie is better than people say it is. Then we have this one. It's not that good. I don't really like it that much. I really love Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. I'm a big fan of the Mechagodzilla movies. I think they're some of the best Godzilla movies we've had. But yeah, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla is so overhated. I honestly do not understand why people hate this movie. I think it's pretty solid. I think it's a pretty cool story. Space Godzilla is awesome. Super underrated villain, and in power level, this man is like Space Godzilla at full potential is like an unbeatable threat. I don't think you guys understand that. But yeah. Then we have just a solid reason. Godzilla vs. Destroyer S tier easily. But in recent days, it's kind of getting the love it deserves. But it's not that bad of a movie. It's also still the longest movie, which I still find surprising because I always thought it's the shortest. But yeah. Godzilla vs. 2000. This one used to be my favorite movie. But it's kind of slow down. It's kind of below. I put it there. Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. I do not like this movie. People really hate my opinion on this movie. I really love GMK. It is easily in my top 5. And if you ever see my letterbox, it is literally in the top movies of all time, alongside Shin Godzilla. Next is Godzilla versus against Mechagodzilla. Against Mechagodzilla is a really solid movie, but Tokyo SOS is also really good, but not as good as the other one. Godzilla Final Wars. Again, it's one of those movies, it's kind of one of those you just put on to have a fun time watching, not to really pay attention to the story and stuff. Now, Godzilla 2014. People always complain about the movie being too dark to see any action, but that's kind of the point. Gareth Edwards does a direction where Godzilla is a mysterious figure. He's a monster. You've never seen him before. It really reminds me of War of the Worlds by Steven Spielberg, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It really reminds me of that movie in a sense. Then we have Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is easily my favorite Godzilla movie of all time, and it's also my favorite movie of all time. It's gonna go in the superstar category. Now we get to the anime trilogy. Now right off the bat, I'm gonna put Scene on the Edge of Battle down here. Scene on the Edge of Battle isn't a totally unwatchable movie. The first one, Planet of Monsters, it's pretty solid, but again, yeah, it's not that good. It's not that good. And then the third movie is just really King of the Monsters. It's either you love this movie or you hate it. I think it's really solid. It was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, and I think it's really solid. I really love seeing the action, and then watching at G-Fest with the whole crowd was amazing. It was like watching GXK. Like, everybody was clapping. Godzilla vs. Kong, I have a lot of problems with this movie, but I don't outright hate it. I don't outright hate it. I think it's a pretty solid movie, but I think in the terms of the universe, the Monsterverse, I think it's pretty poorly done. With specific writing details and character usage, and especially with Mecha. Singular Point is a really good anime and a really good show in general, and I get that it doesn't have a lot of action, it's kind of weird, a little too much yap and more show. I don't really care. I thought it was really entertaining. Legacy of Monsters, people hate this show, but when it was coming out, they absolutely loved it. Personally, me, I think it's a little dragged out, and it doesn't feature a lot of monster stuff. Having Godzilla in it was a really cool idea, but I think the show should just more focused on the lore of the character, lore of the universe. Godzilla -1, it's like 54, okay? Now, it's like 54. It's unrankable because, objectively, it is the best Godzilla of all time. It is. It has phenomenal writing, phenomenal CGI. It literally got us an Oscar. It's objectively the best movie of the franchise. I dare say it's better than 54, objectively. But I have my own problems with the movie, mainly with the ending. But for me, compared to Shin Godzilla, it's not as good as Shin Godzilla. I think Shin Godzilla is better than -1 because of the ending of the movies. But objectively, the movie's a 10 out of 10. But personally, I think the movie's an 8 or 9. I think it's a 9 out of 10. I think it barely scrapes the surface to Shin Godzilla. Then that brings us to GXK. GXK is full of action, and I think that's what a lot of people like to see, and it's something I really like to see. I do think it's better than King of the Monsters, because again, King of the Monsters is a little too bright sometimes. It kind of hurt my eyes every time I watch it. But yeah, I think GXK did a better job at exploring the universe and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that's my ranking, and yeah, I'ma let it go to everybody else now.
What's up, you guys? Baby Boogie Collects here, and today we're going to be doing my ranking of every single Godzilla movie. First, for the original, we're just going to put it in S tier, because it's obviously one of the best, and it's the original Godzilla. For Godzilla Raids, again, it's a C tier movie. It's not that bad to the extent people push it at, but it's not the best either. For King Kong vs. Godzilla, it's an A tier. It's one of the best in the show era, pre-peak. For Mothra vs. Godzilla, it's also an A tier. It's just as good as King Kong vs. Godzilla. A little better in my opinion. For Ghidorah the three-headed monster, I feel like it's in B tier. It's not better than the other two, but it's still a good movie. And for Invasion of Astro Monsters, that's an A tier. It's one of the best in the show era, one of my favorites. And for Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, it's a C tier. It's not really that good. I feel like the kaiju action first film carries it. For Son of Godzilla, it's a really underrated film. I really liked it, and it had one of the best endings in the show era. It's an A tier film. Destroy All Monsters is a C tier film. It's very overrated in my opinion. It's still a good movie, but not to the extent people say. All Monsters Attack is a C tier film. It is better than Destroy All Monsters, but still not that good of a movie. Godzilla vs. Hedorah is a good movie in my opinion. I really like it, and it takes a different approach on the Godzilla franchise. It's a B tier. For Godzilla vs. Gigan, it's really overhated. It's a B tier also. Godzilla vs. Megalon's an A tier. And Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is honestly peak cinema. It's an A tier film. And Terror of Mechagodzilla is also A tier. They're both peak. The Return of Godzilla goes in the B tier. It's a good movie. There's nothing really wrong with it. Godzilla vs. Biollante goes in S tier. It's an underrated film with a good human story and entertaining kaiju action. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah is a good film. It goes in B tier. Godzilla vs. Mothra is a pretty good film. It goes in C tier. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 is absolute cinema. It goes in A tier. It's one of the best in the Heisei era. For Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, it's a C tier film. It's a downgrade from the last film, but it's still a good movie in its own right. And for Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, it's obviously an S tier. It's peak cinema. The best film in the Heisei era, honestly. Godzilla 1998 is a D tier film. It's not really that good. Godzilla 2000 is an A tier. It's one of the best in the Millennium era. It has some good human characters, and the effects aren't the best. It's still an entertaining film. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is a C tier. It's a good movie, but the final fight carries it. GMK is an S tier film. Nothing's wrong with it. It's one of the best in the Godzilla franchise, honestly. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is a good film. It focuses more on the human stuff than the kaiju action, but when it does, it's really good. Godzilla Tokyo SOS is also a really good film. It's not better than the first one, but it's still a good film. I put it in B tier. Godzilla Final Wars is a pretty good movie. There's not very much to say, but I'll just put it in a low A tier. Godzilla 2014 is the best in the Monsterverse, so it's going in S tier. And Shin Godzilla is another S tier film. There's nothing wrong with this film. It's absolute cinema. It's peak fiction. Godzilla Planet of the Monsters is D tier. And the other two movies also go in D tier. For Godzilla King of the Monsters is pretty ass. It's going in D tier. Godzilla Singular Point's B tier. There's nothing really wrong with it. Pretty good story. Godzilla vs. Kong, it's a B tier also. Godzilla Minus One's an S tier film. It's peak fiction. And Godzilla X Kong is a tier. Legacy of Monsters is a S tier. And this is my final ranking.
Everybody, I'm the Godzilla dude, and welcome back to the Kaiju Force. So this is like my Godzilla ranking for the Godzilla movies. Now, I do mind you, I haven't seen all the Godzilla movies just yet. I will see them eventually after I finish Dragon Ball. But moving on to the main attraction, or like the main idea. I don't know why I said attraction, but anyways. So first, we're gonna start off with D tier, which is Godzilla Singular Point. The reason why I chose Godzilla Singular Point in D tier is because, well, okay, let me show you the upsides and downsides. The upsides are the atmosphere, the characters, the kaijus, the kaiju design to be exact, and the music. I think it's really good. The music choices. It's like not an all bad anime, but there are some flaws, like how it was kind of confusing. It wasn't really brief with what they were trying to put down. That's kind of like my only problem with the series. So yeah, moving on to the C tiers, which have for obviously the first Godzilla animated trilogy movie and Godzilla 1998. So first, I'm talking about the first anime trilogy, and talking about why it's in the C tier, not higher or lower. I do think back when it came out, it was really hated on for no reason. I understand that there were like no kaiju fights, like not that much Godzilla, but after after you watch the Wikizilla video, like talking about the prequel novels, it kind of shows you why there isn't that many kaiju fights until like the third movie, really. I'm sorry if I got that incorrect. I've not watched the other two movies, but yeah. So I think it's like an underrated movie that shouldn't be that hated on, but yeah. The only thing I hate is like the lack of screen time for Godzilla. That's like the only thing I hate. Anyways, moving on to now we're at Godzilla 1998. So for Godzilla 1998, I have some few reasons why I like it and I hate it. The reason why I like it is because I like the design of Zilla as a kaiju, even though it's Godzilla. Anyways, so at that point, I think it's a good movie. It has a decent plot, but the things I hate about Zilla is what came before it. Now, before you get your pitchforks, what I mean by that is, like, so you remember the canceled American Godzilla movie in 1994 for like the year 1994. Sorry, the design looked really good. And it was gonna fight like this weird lion space kaiju, which I thought was a really cool idea. I'm kind of sad or bummed out really. They did not really do that idea, but hey. We get what we get, and yeah, it's 1998. It's like like I said, it's like a low C tier. It's not good, but it's not bad. So yeah. Moving on to the big leagues, we have B tier, A tier, S tier. So we're gonna start with B tier, obviously. So I want to start from the lowest to highest. So we have GVK. GVK. The fights carried. Okay, now hear me out. The fights carried. Yes, there are some good plot points like the Hollow Earth scene and the Hong Kong, which are the fight scene, by the way. You probably know that. Anyways, so I think the fight scenes are really good, especially the Hong Kong one. That's like my personal favorite because like seeing like the neon lights, the buildings. So yeah, I don't know what else to say other than like Mechagodzilla was really wasted in the movie. Like I felt like GVK should have been split. Like it should have been like Godzilla vs Kong, then like Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla, just like give Mechagodzilla some more hype and more runtime because he like legit just shows up for the final fight. So yeah. Now on to Final Wars. Final Wars, it's a good movie. If you want to get some good kaiju action, this one is to go to, other than Destroy All Monsters, which is the next one on my list. Destroy All Monsters, it's good. I like how like the aliens, I forgot their names, but they're trying to take over the world. From what I remember. I'm so sorry, I have a horrible memory. Anyways, King of the Monsters, it gets hated, it gets overglazed, I don't really care. Again, it's like a fan service movie. Think of it, it's like a good fan service movie, actually. I don't think of it as, but yeah, cool designs, it has Burning Godzilla, it's cool. Besides, honestly, King of the Monsters, after rewatching it, it's kind of alright. Like, I remember I was at my grandma's and I was watching this movie, I fell asleep. No disrespect to the person who made this movie, I forgot his name again. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm moving on to the Kiryu Saga. Tokyo SOS. After watching it, it's lower than against Godzilla. The music is good. The kaiju is good. The climax is good. So pretty much it. Then we have 1984 or 85. Barely any Godzilla. I think the plot is decently good. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't want to make my thing sound repetitive, and that's why I'm saying these little speeches or whatever. GXK. It's a good movie. It's a good kaiju movie. I think it's like the better GVK, to be honest. So that's all I have to say about it. Anyways, moving on to A tier. So we're gonna start from the last one on the A tier list, as usual. I know I changed that up midway through, but I decided to do that because I thought it would be interesting. Anyways, now we have Godzilla vs. Mechagears. Someone in this video actually really likes Godzilla vs. Mechagears and will defend their life for this movie. But besides that point, it's a good movie. The fight scene kind of carried. I like the introduction scene. That was actually really good though. I'm not gonna lie. Mechagears is a cool kaiju, and her dragonfly. I keep forgetting. It's like Megalulon. Oh my! Like they were like, oh, Yo, okay, I'm gonna have to watch the wikis of the profile. I low-key forgot their names. All I know is like they're like the bodyguards, if you will, or like the stage one for Mecha Gears to become Mecha Gears, obviously. Now we have King Kong versus Godzilla. Good movie. I like it. It's like a cult classic for the Godzilla fandom, other than like 54 and yeah. I'm sorry I skipped Rates Again. I'm sorry. Rates Again is good, by the way. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it was good. Now we have Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. So for this movie, I like the characters, in my opinion, and I also like the fights. Also, this was a fun fact. This was my first Godzilla movie I watched as a kid. Like, I remember Kiryu was about to fight Godzilla. I almost said Mechagodzilla for a second. I think the fights are good, and I like how it's like right after 54. And, like, it has like its own timeline. Like, it's not just like 54, like other movies in there as well, which is something I like of that. Kind of like stand out from the other Millennium movies. I probably mentioned that right, but I think the characters are good and the designs for the kaijus are actually good. And in my personal opinion, I know this may sound basic, but Kiryu Goji is like one of my favorite Godzilla designs. Remember, other than 2000 or 2014 or 54. Anyways, moving on to the 2000, which is a classic, because like I remember seeing some stores like the DVD version, like the 999 one, which was really cool to me back then. I also like the Kaiju Prediction Network. It's something like other than like just like military bases, like, you know, which is something cool, I guess. And the final fight was good. When Orga was like biting Godzilla, crazy. It was crazy. So, really all much I have to say, cause like I don't want to make this too long. I don't want to go too in depth. Anyways, moving on to some other person's personal favorite Millennium movie in this. He's probably going first, by the way. It's GMK. To be honest, in the Godzilla community, or like in my eyes, like the people I've known, you either love this movie or you either hate it with a passion, or you either rage bait people saying this is the best one. And I'll get to those three topics. So why you think it's the best movie? So it's obviously like the kaiju designs, the music, the plot, the characters, and like the ending and like, you know, the build up really. Then there's like the hating or the bad side is like you think it's getting overhyped, overglazed, if you will, and you believe that they're like, you know, overhyping this movie and like kind of like underwhelming the other Millennium movies, which in both standards for the good and bad I agree with. And the rage baiting is, okay, let's say someone likes like Mecha Gears, and a person who likes GMK will say Mecha Gears is really mid, just watch GMK. I've definitely not experienced this before. Like, I've definitely not seen this went down. Anyways, moving on to the S tier movies. Now we're in the S tier rankings. I'm gonna start from the top ones, like the first ones, like on the left. So the first one is 1954. It's a cult classic. I watched it with the homies. That like we didn't get to finish it, so I watched it on my own time. It's a good movie. I like the story, and like just like the ending was so good, bro. Like I actually like it was just peak, bro. It was peak. Characters were good. Not the fights, sorry. The scenes when Godzilla shows up are really good, and I think it's a good balance of both Godzilla and characters talking, you know, doing what they should do in a movie, right? Now on to Shin Godzilla. Good movie. It was like possibly like the second most recent Godzilla movie I watched, like way back then when it first came out, other than like 2014, and other than like GMK and Mechagodzilla, obviously. So it's a good movie. It actually was really unique back when I first watched it, because like now Godzilla can evolve. Like, he has all these other forms, and like I remember it's like people were like hyping or like theorizing what Shin Godzilla's next form is, and yeah. And I do think my only problem with it is it's sometimes slow paced, but sometimes it isn't. But like with that slow pace, you get like a treat of like good Godzilla scenes. So yeah, I'll take it. 2014. Now, before you hate on me, you could switch 2014 or Shin Godzilla in my eyes, because they're both like really good movies. 2014, even though you can barely see anything in the theaters, it was still a good movie. The hype for the final battle was cool, I guess. It was a good battle, I guess. Top 14's like, I don't know what else to say. Let me think. Okay, so another thing you could say is also like the hype for the Mutos. Like the Mutos had some hype in like the introduction movie, which I was like kind of fascinated about, and like the Mutos designs. And I like 2014's design too. It was really good. The only problem is that they killed Walter White for no reason. Like I felt like they just killed Walter White just to kill him. I know, but like no one cares about his son. I'm being so honest. Like his son was a good character. Don't get me wrong, but I just wanted to see Walter White, bro. Like Breaking Bad with Godzilla would have been so peak, even though it wasn't like that. But still, it would have been good. Moving on to one of the best Heisei movies in my opinion, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. One of the best, by the way. One of the best I mentioned. It's really good. It's a good conclusion movie. Like Godzilla dies, the next generation is gonna be Junior. The music is wonderful. The fights are good. And like how like, the planet was gonna blow up. I like the idea of like the planet blowing up. I mean, okay, wait, no, that's out of context. How Godzilla was based like a giant bomb, and he was gonna blow up the planet, or like overheat it, I should say. Yeah, Destroyer. I like his designs. It was a little bit of like aliens and stuff, which was cool about his design. Destroyer, he was cool. Godzilla Jr., he was cool. I think everybody was cool in the movie. So yeah. Moving on to Godzilla minus one. Now before everyone says something bad, the reason why I chose this one to be in like second to last is okay. I really like Godzilla minus one. It's a good movie, and like I remember back then people were like, "Yo, there's two Godzillas." Like, yeah. I remember seeing like the teaser trailers and stuff. It was really cool. I liked the story. It was good, and like that's kind of it, really. The story was good. He died in a way of GMK, which I'm like, okay, it's cool. I actually do not know what else to say for minus one. It was a good movie, okay? It was a good movie. Now on to the last. It is Godzilla versus Biollante. I would put in this higher, but I feel like I'm gonna get hated on if I do that. So, Godzilla versus Biollante, it has like, there's something about it, like how his daughter is like the kaiju at the end. Oh my god, it was crazy. Like I actually was like fascinated when that happened. And but yeah, speaking of Biollante, Biollante's a cool kaiju. I like her design. It's like a giant flower thingy, which is kind of cool. Boss cool, I guess. I like the dad character. He was alright. About Godzilla, he was good too. Again, like I'm kind of like running out of things to say because it's not scripted and this is like all completely free out of my mind. So like, yeah, that's why I don't sound like as construct as usual in the videos. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching my tier listing. So I'm going to go now. Peace.